He gives you the world, and now you know that.
Kingsway Podcast.
Good. So you can't be mad at him if he tells you the truth. Mm-hmm. If he says, listen, all I want to do is have sex because you're a pretty girl. You can't get mad at that if he's honest. But if he's lying, that's how you subvert it. You don't subvert your SMV by saying, I'm just going to go out here and sleep with as many handsome dudes as I can, therefore that's what I qualify for. No, because you have this idea in the back of your head when men have already told you they will sleep with damn near anything. Mm-hmm. Men will sleep with pretty women. Men will sleep with ugly women. That's because your looks are not the goal for us to sleep with. Your looks are the goal for marriage. And that's why when somebody says, well, why don't you hold off till marriage? Most women's reply is, well, I like sex just like men. It's like, that's not the problem. The problem is that you liking it and getting it are two different things. Because you like it does nothing for you. You like sex, okay, at the end of the day, that does nothing for you because what you really want is family and security. That's what you want. You want security. Yes, you want sex, but you're going to want the ultimate sex from the best man you possibly can get. For men, that's never true. We have to be the givers. We have to be, in a way, the providers. So we can take sex from any woman. The ones we provide for, though, they have to provide more. And that's the thing. So if you want to be that woman, the last thing you can do is bet on your coochie game, bet on your sex game. That's the last thing that men are betting on. Men are like, well, if you don't come to the table with that, you know that they're not even giving you an opportunity. Those are not the men you want. You want a man that's going to say, I know you're going to bring that because I'm bringing this, and automatically you're going to want to give that up. But y'all got to see what the man is bringing.
Because women want the life experiences, right? They want the life, and they want, the family, right? They want a life. Guys want services. Mm-hmm. That's my thing. It's like, yeah, that's why we guys, our standards are low, right? We want the bare minimum. Sex, sandwich, silence, and whatnot, as an example. And that's the thing. We just want services. That's why when we're like, oh, we want a woman to bring us peace. Well, that's a service, right? That's them not bringing you something you don't want, which is, issues and drama and this and third. So, you want a female that doesn't attract problems. You want a female who at least can solve problems, so that way she doesn't bring you problems for you to solve. Especially if you're not good at solving problems, you definitely don't want to be with a female that is nothing but problems, right? Logically. But the thing is that, yes, females want a life. So sex is one thing, but it's not the thing. It's not the top priority for them, right? When you ask them what they want, they don't be like sex, sandwich, and silence. We do.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy because, women, it's nothing wrong with what they want. It's the fact that what they want, they believe they deserve because of how they are. So they're like, I'm a very beautiful woman. I get all this money. So I deserve a very handsome man who get all this money. And there's nothing wrong with what you want. But like I said before, because that you believe, you're very beautiful, this, that, and the third, but the market doesn't see it that way. That's where the confusion comes in. Because dudes are looking at you like, yeah, you're beautiful, but you're not a 10. So there comes an issue right there. You believe you're a 10, but, you're 30, 35, 40. You're getting up there. So because you have that aggrandization, that's great, but in reality, well, that girl over there has that same thing, and she's 10 years younger than you. Are we to tell her that she's not? Oh no, we're both 10s. But that's not how we see it. So if you're going to tell us that that's how we should see it, then the market has to be saying on your side. That means if he makes 50,000, it shouldn't matter. But we all know it does. So if we can accept that, why can't you accept that? That's all we're saying. Because in our minds as men, we know, oh man, I'll be cool with 60, 70, 80,000 dollars. That's cool. But for women, sometimes you have to make up 6 figures plus. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, men understand this. It's like if I want to get a woman that wants 6 figures and that's the woman I want, I gotta make 6 figures. But for women, they're saying, well, you know, I believe I'm a 10, so I'm gonna get a guy that, and it's like, but that's not how that works. Because it's not about what you believe. It's about what the market dictates. And the reason why the market dictates it is because of how our society is. Now, if you want to change that, you have to do a 360. So if you want to say that all women are 10s, you got to start telling women, well, it really shouldn't matter what a guy makes. Because at the end of the day, it does. It really shouldn't matter what a guy looks like. But at the end of the day, it does. It really shouldn't matter because you're trying to subvert a rule. So you can't subvert the rule that it only works for you. That will never be a double standard because it's not about you. It's about what they want. And that's the thing. That's how the market works. None of us can subvert that. All the women in the world can believe that they're 10s. They can all believe that they're 10s. But we know that's not how it works. Just like guys will have to understand, yes, sitting in your mom's basement, getting on a computer complaining all the time, it's never going to get you a good woman. It probably ain't going to get you a woman that will come out and give you a massage. Like, you can't even get an escort like that. You have to get out there and put in the work. You can't sit there and complain and not put in the work. You got to put in some type of work. If you're able to play video games and you meet your girl over the internet playing video games, that's cool. But you also got to understand what comes with that.
Membership.
Yes.
It ain't free.
It ain't free. You ain't going to meet the girl in the free lobby.
Yeah.
So, you just have to deal with that. But if you can deal with that, look.
Shit, I pulled some chicks, at least attention-wise, where, you know, we're communicating back and forth and I have their attention just because I helped them out in video games. And it wasn't in a sim type of way, like, oh, let me give you this, let me give you that. No, it's just that I made myself available to whenever they had questions and they were asking for something, I helped them get it. I taught them how to get it instead of just giving it to them. See, simps will give females money. A real man will teach her how to make money, right? It's the whole catch a fish, feed them for a day, teach them how to fish, feed them for life. So, if you want a chick in your good graces, then that's the thing. You gotta be that guy. That's the thing. When we say being that guy, it's literally that. It's the Kingsway concept is that. Is the idea that's like, if you don't have it to give, at least you should have the ability to be able to get, or at least have the knowledge to get. So being able to teach somebody how to fish, even though you have no fishes of your own to give them, so you're like, well, at least I know how to fish. Let me teach you how to fish. And there you go. That's better than nothing. The thing is, most guys don't even have anything. They can't even offer a chick a solution to paying their bills, because there'll be chicks that, oh, I can't mess with a guy who can't pay my bills. Are you having trouble paying your own bills? Well, I mean, you know, I got a couple bills that are a little high. Okay, so you need money for the bills. Yes. Okay, let me figure out how you can make more money so you can pay your own bills. Instead of me, out of my own pocket, paying for it, I help you pay for it yourself. That makes you valuable. That makes you something. I mean, at least give it a try. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Most guys aren't even trying things that they should try. Like, try to upgrade a chick, right? Try to make her better and see how that works out. Just like, you know, we're talking about in the previous podcast about the idea that, you know, you guys want girls who are 8s and 9s and 10s, right? But since that's all external, right? Has nothing to do with money, or it doesn't have to do with the past lifestyle and this, that, and the third. It doesn't have to do with too many external things. It's more of anything beyond her capabilities. You can take a chick who's a 5, who's a 4. You know, with a gym membership, right, and some makeup, you can make her a 6, a 7, maybe an 8. Right? If you want to go, further, because you got money like that, right? You can make her a 9 or 10. Through plastic surgery. Right?
Nah, man. Most dudes want women to just be natural, just come like that. Just be all the way natural. Don't do anything with enhance yourself. It's like, okay. I mean,
yeah, straight from the factory, she got to look like a Lamborghini. Why don't you just get a Honda Civic and then put a kit car on it, put a kit on it, right, and pimp it out and make it into something better. I like the idea of pimping things out, upgrading, customizing. Think about it that way. Get a chick who's a 5 and customize her. Instead of wanting a chick who's already an 8 or 9, who already comes pre-built as a baddie, which more likely means that since she came by default a baddie, then she's going to automatically be like, well, I'm by default very valuable, so my price is $1 millionaire. I got who's 6 feet, 6 figure, blah blah blah. Okay, well, good luck. If you're not that guy, you're not getting that girl. What you can get is a chick who's a 5, essentially a Honda Civic. Put a kit on it, right? Upgrade it, pimp it out, pimp your girl, and bang, there you go. Now you got a baddie. Because a lot of times guys will talk about, oh yeah, we date down. See, females don't date down. It's either the guys, they're equal or better. They never date down. Guys date down. Okay, if we date down, then let's pick some of these 2s, these 3s, these 4s, these 5s, and pimp them out, right? As in upgrade them, right? Make them look better than they did when you first got them. And there you go. Remember, because it's looks. So you can make her look like an 8. There's females out here already doing that by themselves already. They're already out here trying to make themselves look better. If you fucks with a certain chick who has a great personality, but she's on the heavy side, and you prefer her to be on the lighter side, then you pay for the gym membership. And gym memberships are cheap. And get the one where both of y'all can go. 2 for the price of 1 type of deal. Platinum Fitness has that. It's the black card or something like that. You can get that. Get that membership. For mine, it's like $30 a month. And you and her go together. Work out. Bang. And the funny thing is, you don't even have to work out that much. That's the thing. It's like, if you're like, oh yeah, I'm comfortable the way I am. I don't want to change. And maybe she doesn't want you to change. Maybe she doesn't want you, she likes you the way you are. But you prefer her to be, thinner or in a different shape. All right, well, then you got to make it happen. Makers can't be choosers, right? But you can, however, be able to customize. And if you want your chick to be better, then you make her better instead of just expecting her to magically be better. Talk is cheap, as they say, and that's the thing. Talk is cheap, and a lot of you guys talk. That's all you do. Talk. She needs to do this. She needs to be this, that, and the third. Like, well, give her the ability to be like that. You want her to cook? Get her an air fryer or something. Right? You want the dishes to be clean? Get her a dishwasher. Right? Make it easy for her to do these things, and then she'll do it. Unless she really, really, really doesn't want to do shit at all, then that's a different story. But again, that's on you, right? If you're not even that guy that can get her to use the dishwasher, well, then you're not that guy, and you shouldn't be demanding anything if you're not that guy. If you can't even get her to just put the dishes in the dishwasher and let the machine do all the work, then, because trust me, women of the past did do far more than the women now, and they had far less. They used to wash clothes by hand, not have a washer and dryer. They used to do things by hand. They wash dishes by hand, right? They didn't have dishwashers. Cooking, didn't have the convenience of an air fryer, microwave and stuff like that. They had to use fire, right? Primitive stuff, fire, metal, wooden spoons, right? Like, they had to do things the hard way with primitive stuff compared to what we have now. We have way more convenience now. So much convenience that a guy can cook for himself. Right? A guy can use an air fryer and make himself dinner. So if you can do it yourself, then make sure that she can do it for you too. We have the convenience. But the main thing is if you want something, you gotta pay for it. If you want quality, you gotta pay for it. There's no free lunches out here. And guys know this. Females, yeah, they get all types of free lunches. But that's the difference. The difference between them and us is that we know there's no free lunches. But for them, their life experience is different. There are plenty of free lunches for them. So learn, right? We're in the same game, but the rules apply to us differently. Right? We have different stats, and it's about leveling up whatever stats you got. You know, for most females, their stat, you know, they tend to put more into their social stats, to their customization, you know, their appearance stats, as it were, like their outfits and stuff like that. They're really into accessories. A proof of that, if you ever pay attention, that when most females play video games, they love customizing. They love that. You ever see chicks who be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a gamer girl. You know, look at my room and my setup," and it's like lots of decoration, lots of cutesy stuff, lots of lights. They decorate, they customize. They'll put their name and like neon lights in the wall behind them and shit. Like they're all into that shit. Most of us guys got like a bed, a dresser with some, you know, for our clothes and stuff. We might have a gamer chair, right? A gamer chair, some headset, and you know, we got our system, and that's it. And the bare minimum, like we don't pimp out our, you know, environment, our room, you know, like most females do. There are some guys who do, but on average, most guys don't. So that's the thing. It's like, look at that. When females play video games, they love. And here's the thing, guys, in video games, guys spend money on like weapons and things to, you know, improve their ability to win in the game a lot. So they look for the better weapon, the better armor, and stuff like that. But females tend to look for, the cosmetic stuff like pets and hats and color, the ability to change the color of their armor or weapons or whatever. They look for all that extra cutesy stuff. And it's like, well, see the difference. See the difference of what they spend their money and time and their points and whatever towards than guys. Like, for example, guys will probably put more points into their damage stats, you know, to deal more damage to their offense, while females probably put more into their defense. Because they probably experience getting, you know, beaten, right, getting defeated in the game. It's like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like, you know, I don't want to lose, right? So then when they realize that they can improve their chances of not losing is by increasing the defense stats, that's what they'll do. They'll increase the defense stats. And now they're dying less. That makes them happy. For guys, it's like, oh man, I keep losing. It's because I'm not hitting hard enough. All right, more into the attack stats. That way every time I hit, I destroy. Like, you know, that's a different mindset from guys and girls. Definitely gotta take that into consideration when you're out here. You know, when you talk to a female, they tend, you know, think about it, when you're approaching a female, that's essentially offense. Right? You're coming up to her and you're saying something. So you're on the offensive position, and she's in the defensive position because she's in the reaction, right? She's reacting to whatever you're saying or whatever you're doing. So clearly, do not come off intimidating. Do not come off looking dangerous and so forth and so forth, right? Try not to be a threat. If you can minimize the threat, then do so. Minimize the threat as much as possible. But that's the game. That's the game of life. That's the game of the marketplace. Is that when you approach a female, you're on the offense. She's on the defense. Just like playing football, right? You have offense and defense. So when you're playing on the offense, on the offense, you got to learn how to score, how to maneuver within the conversation. How to overcome the defense, because the defense is there. The defense is to prevent problems, to prevent danger, hurt feelings, physically hurt, right? Prevent physical damage and so on and so forth, right? So you definitely, you want to be able to bypass the defenses to be able to get to her and get her to know that, well, one, you're not a threat, right? You're not a danger, right? If anything, you can help her increase her defense, right? You can protect her, right? You can provide for her. You can protect her from winter and from loneliness and from sadness and so on and so forth. Females love to be happy. Anything that makes them happy is good, and they like good things, which is why you hear them complain about the bad things, because they don't like the bad things. They have nothing negative to say about the good things because they're the good things. They're always complaining about the bad things, and the idea is you want to be that guy that she says very little bad things about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you gotta be mindful of what you do and say, because even if you're like, oh, I'm telling her the truth. Yeah, but here's the thing, the truth hurts. Hurting is bad. Females don't want to get hurt, emotionally or physically. So keep that in mind. The truth hurts. Just like if a female rejects you, doesn't it hurt? It's the truth. You're not her type. But it hurt, right? So the truth hurts. So be careful about always telling the truth, because it can hurt. There's nothing wrong with being honest. There's nothing wrong with facts, but you have to understand, the consequences of facts. Facts and truth, can hurt people. Think about it. Somebody whose life is based on lies are going to always hate the truth, because it's the opposite of what they're used to. They're used to living a life of lies. So when you come in with the truth, to them it's wrong, right? To them, they view one person's enemy, one person's hero is another person's villain. So from their viewpoint, lying is a good thing. The truth is a bad thing. And for us, it's like, that don't make no sense. The truth should be good and lies should be bad. That is true. But if your whole life, all you know is lies, then to you, lies is good. And that's the thing. You think every bad person thought that they were bad? No. Most bad people think they're good. Most people who are toxic think they're not toxic. But everybody else says they are. Both can't be right. You can't, not be toxic, but everybody says you are. One of these two things is wrong. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of figuring out which one is wrong. Is it wrong that everybody else is saying you're toxic, or are you wrong for thinking you're not?
Yeah, sometimes you tend to notice that the dudes, they're like, they get angry because the women say things that they don't agree with. So like, oh, you capping. It's like, no, everybody's giving their views on their opinions and their life experiences. Oh, well, you can't say that. Well, yeah, even if here's the thing, if you tell a woman, okay, this is what I see that women don't do this. Okay, the woman says, okay, cool. I see men don't do this. Oh, well, but we're not talking about it. Okay, the subject's about women. Cool. And then you can't get mad that she said, well, I don't see women doing that. Well, now you capping. It's like, no, because you just said that, the subject is about women. She's a woman. She hangs out with women. It's what she sees. Now, if we're going to talk about a majority, the thing is that it'd be crazy to go into a space that's majority men that don't agree with women and then ask them their opinion. Go into a majority female space and be like, do y'all know women that do this? that will completely confirm it for you. Because either all those women do know women that are doing this bad thing that you don't know of, that you know of, or some women will say yes, some women will say no, but generally down the line, you'll get a suffice number. If you go into a space where it's like the men are mad at women, so they're like, yeah, women are this bad, okay. Well, do you see women doing this? Yeah, I see women doing that. But that contradicts what I just said. So now I can't trust your opinion because you're obviously just going to keep agreeing. It doesn't matter what I'm saying. You're just going to agree just for the sake of making women look bad. When half of you probably don't even know these kind of women. And that's the thing, because a lot of these women on these panels, they will tell you, they're like, oh, I don't see those kind of women. Yes, because these are not the women that we don't like. Period. Oh, I don't want no ratchet women. How many ratchet women do you think you're going to catch on one of these panels? Those girls are out being ratchet. Mm-hmm. Those girls are out being ratchet right now. They're out sleeping with these millionaire dudes. They don't care about no family or nothing. These women on these panels, they care. Yep. That's why they're up here. They care because if they really didn't care, they wouldn't be up here. They can give two fucks less. So you have to know your audience. And if your audience is mainly men, why are you mad at women and trying to teach women when 90% of your audience is men? It's like, oh, well, this is the manosphere. Yeah, so talking to women would be completely useless because, number one, women are not going to share this video with other women unless you say something they don't like.
Yeah.
And you don't want them to share this video with women that you don't like. You want the women to hear this that you know are going to be more cooperative. And so that's why it's like, there has to be a middle ground. I'm like, and the best middle ground that I've seen so far is you find a woman that has been able to make it work and can give out the right advice. And the women that will listen, will listen. The women that won't listen, won't listen. You don't try to make people do anything because people are not going to be made to do anything. Just like men are not going to be made to be monogamous. Some men are just want to be cheaters. Some men just think it's in their blood when it really isn't in your blood to cheat.
It's in your pants.
It's like it's not in your blood. It's just in your pants. And if you have the discipline, then you don't even need to cheat. Really, you can just tell them, listen, I sleep with multiple women.
Yeah, it's not that different from eating food. It's like you're fat because you eat unhealthy things and you just keep eating.
Yeah, you have no discipline.
No discipline. So it's the same thing. Dick discipline, mouth discipline, right?
Yeah.
So have discipline of what goes into your body.
Yeah.
And have discipline of you trying to go into somebody else's body.
Yeah. And when you show that kind of discipline, it obviously makes you more astute to things that you didn't see before because you have more control over your life. Because you're not just going out there poking anything, especially with all the diseases and stuff that's going around. And with the way women are getting pregnant nowadays, some girls, you just touch them and they get pregnant. So it's like you risk less chances of things like that happening unwantingly. If you want to go get a whole bunch of girls pregnant pulling Nick Cannon, that's fine. That's on you. You handle what comes with the consequences.
Yep, there's a price to pay.
You handle what comes with the consequences.
Nick Cannon can clearly pay the price.
Yeah, that's why he keeps doing it.
He can pay the price of play, man.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta pay.
Which is the reason why when I see these dudes complaining about child support with baby moms, they don't care about. Apparently, it's like, then why did you get her pregnant? Why would you get a woman pregnant that you don't like? No one's saying where you stick your stuff at. That's on you.
Not saying you couldn't hit it.
Yeah, but
damn,
you got her pregnant. You got her pregnant. We gotta tell dudes. You gotta be smarter than that.
Smarter.
Well, I'm sorry. I can't feel sorry for you.
Can't live in a world made by men.
Yeah.
And be fucking up like that.
No, because that's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. There's plenty of women out there for you to sleep with, and you sleep with whoever you want. But as far as getting pregnant, you choose that. You choose that. Just like women choose the men they let come inside of them without protection because they can always ask for it. And we're right. They can do that. It's never an accident. It's never an accident. You can always tell him to put on a rubber. He can say no, and you don't have to sleep with him. But as far as pregnancy goes, it's never an accident for a woman. It's never an accident for a man. You are both two consenting adults. If there's no consent on one side, that's not called sex.
We can definitely say there was irresponsibility.
Yes.
But we can't say that it was an accident.
Yes.
Irresponsibility.
Yeah, it's irresponsibility, but there is no accident.
It's lack of discipline.
Yes. And you should be more disciplined to know that if you're going to go inside of any chick raw, make sure that that's a chick you say, well, if she does become my baby mom, at least I can tolerate it. Yeah. Because in my 36 years on this earth, I can say there's only 2 women that I've been like that with.
Yeah. And I learned that from would not have a problem being my baby mom.
Yeah. And the first one, I learned my lesson. The first one I learned my lesson. Almost got into that situation. The second one, yes. The second one, yeah. If she wouldn't be my baby mom, that would have been that. Yeah. I would have been happy. She's a great girl, and she'd make an extremely great mother. I would have had no problem with that. Even if our relationship don't work out, even if our relationship didn't work out at that point. I mean, it didn't work out later on, but she was the type of person that would have never kept my child from me. She didn't have those traits. She didn't have that attitude. She didn't have that vileness towards me. Unlike the first one, which is the reason why the first one, I'm glad we didn't, and I'm glad that I don't have contact with her. But other than that, I've never made that mistake because I understand, and there's a great group of women that I can say, well, yeah, this might be my quote unquote roster, but if you look at them, no, I would have picked none of them my baby mom. And it's not the fact that they were bad women. It's the fact that I know for me, they were not motherly enough. And some of them probably did have the attitude where, oh, if you don't give me this type of money, I'll keep your child from you. They did have that attitude. And so for that reason, no, I'm not going to gift you with my seed because not that I'll ever want to go through that. I'll never want to put my child through that,
Mm-hmm.
Especially as somebody who didn't have a father. So, it's like, I look at it like my mother never kept me from my father. That was the beautiful part. My mother never kept me from my father. My father was just an asshole that didn't want to be there. So with that being said, I want that kind of mother. I want a mother that will say, I'll never keep you from your father. You're free to go with your father. You're free to come to go visit your father. Here's where your father lives. Go say hi. I would want a baby mom that if we didn't work out, that I have unrestricted access to my child. I see that there are some dudes out here who do want to be fathers to their children. And the baby mom's just like, if you don't give me this, you can't see your child. And that makes me ask the dude, why would you stick a woman like that with your seed? Like, what are you doing? Oh, well, she wasn't like that. But you mean to tell me you didn't vet hard enough to at least say, I vetted you and I know you can't be my wife, but I vetted you hard enough to know even more you can't be my baby's mom. What? Come on, man. You got to do better than that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do better than that. You got to do better than that. Because, especially once you cross a certain threshold of time and man, this relationship really ain't going nowhere, and you might be planning to make an exit, why would you even continue to have raw sex with her? Just throw in a condom. She asks, just be like, listen, I'm sorry, but I don't really see this going anywhere. Be real. Be a man. And if she continues to question it but be with you, that's fine. That's not an issue. She can question all she wants. And if she wants to say, well, I'd rather go see other people, fine, then you were about to exit anyway. Shouldn't be a problem. But if you are going to continue to juggle that possibility, go ahead on. Then as soon as you're ready to leave, I'm pregnant. Well, dude, that's on you. Because you already know what's going to happen. You're like, I'm stuck with her for the next 18 years. Yeah, because you couldn't be honest with yourself and say, you know what, I need to throw on a rubber before I get this girl pregnant. Especially you're experiencing. It's like, wow, this is what it's like to live with you. This is what it's like to be around you on a more regular. And I've decided that, that honeymoon phase we got, it's over. I see for what it is right now, the post-nut clarity or whatever it is. You're like, I like you, and we will be great as like a Bonnie and Clyde type of team. I can't marry you. And for that, I definitely can't have a kid with you. You have to be honest with yourself. You know, you have to be honest with yourself on that. You know, you got to be honest with yourself. And that for some men, that's hard. For women, it's harder. But for some men, that's hard. And it's like, no, you've got to be strong. And you have to be strong up here in your mind. You've got to be strong mentally, because that's where it's going to take the most discipline. Because if you don't have no control over your mind and your mental discipline, of course you're just going to go wherever your penis wants to go. Women bump into you, shit, bing, now you up there. Now you got to go have some. You got to have more discipline than that. You know, you got to have more discipline than that. And as far as for women, you know, I do hear the complaints of, oh, well, he ain't shit. Well, yeah, but you knew he wasn't shit and you still let him come inside of you. Oh, well, but we was in the moment, but that doesn't matter. Because here's the thing. Once you've vetted hard enough, you will see, it will become clear to you in an instant that, oh, you two can have great sex, but you don't want him to impregnate you. But you have to take a step back and see that first. Be like, because there's nothing wrong with having great chemistry. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be with a guy. Maybe the guy does give you great sex. There's nothing wrong with that. We all want great sex. But the thing is that pregnancy is a result of having raw sex. So that's why I always encourage men to just strap up until you're sure. But I say the same thing on women. Make him strap up. If he gives you any problems about that, that just lets you know two things. One, he's reckless. So you don't want to be with a guy like that, because that's reckless. Because telling the guy to strap up doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean you're not giving him sex. In fact, that's almost guaranteeing that you're going to give him sex, because you want him to wrap up. And number two, it also proves that you don't just let any guy shoot up the club. Mm-hmm. And men will respect that. Like, okay, cool, she's not just letting any guy just, shoot up the club. So obviously she does have some type of respect for herself. I can respect that. It'll also let you know that if a dude gives you problems with that, then okay, that's not the dude you want to sleep with, because you're being sexually reckless. Me and you, we've known each other for a couple weeks. You already want to have raw sex with me. You have no idea what I have. Mm-hmm. And the thing is with men, we have an external, you can see it. With women, they have an internal, you can't see it. So by you telling him that, in his mind, if he still's like, no, don't worry about it, that should make you pause like, dude, I can have anything. Because the outside can look clean, but we all know it's what's inside that's the problem. Mm-hmm. But if that should let you know right off the bat, okay, no, that's not the guy you want to be sexual with at that moment, because he has no sexual responsibility and he doesn't have the discipline to just go put on a condom, which is not hard. Not hard at all. Especially if you've been giving him the right signals. If you've been giving him the right signals and he came without a condom, like, so you didn't want to have sex with me, is what you're saying. He's like, yeah, then why would you not bring a condom just in case I ask for it? Well, girls never ask for condoms, so you sleep recklessly. Boom, there you go. You get your answers. It's crazy, because you don't have to have a baby. A baby doesn't have to come out of this. So it's like, yeah, just ask him. And even if it's like, well, it don't feel the same for you, you still want to be careful. You still want to be careful. So ask him, because then you'll know. Because I can tell you this. I've only been asked twice. Women really don't ask for it like that. They really don't. But I also know that that's why I always just do it myself. And I don't care. I don't care whether it feels different to you or not. I don't want to have any kids. I've assessed that you are very beautiful. I've assessed that you have a great personality. I've assessed that, we might hit it off or something like that. But I have to take my own responsibility for my seed. And I know that I don't want to be that dude. I don't want to be the dude that my father was, where yeah, I'm not in the house with my child, or especially if it's a boy. So it's like, those are the two outcomes of sex. Either when you do it raw, you don't have a kid because you got out in time or whatnot, or she didn't get pregnant, or she does get pregnant. Those are the two outcomes of shooting up a club. So that's what you got to deal with. And I'd rather minimize those chances by just protecting myself. If it don't feel right for her, she don't want to do it, that's fine. She has like an allergic reaction to latex, then we won't do it. But I'm not going raw in no chick that, especially I have thoroughly vetted and know that I don't want her to be my baby mama. On top of diseases and everything, but I just know that for me. I know that for me. It's like I've thoroughly vetted you to know that we can have fun, we can go out, we can date, we can do all these things. And as a man, I'm not going to say I don't like sex. Yes, I like sex, but I also understand that, yes, you cannot be my baby mom. But then there are times where it's like, I'll be honest, I take sexual discipline very seriously. So I'll see a chick like, yeah, I like her and all, but if we get into it, there's still a possibility. I don't even want that. So it's like, I see a woman that it's like, we have a little bit of chemistry. It's not really there. So I won't even take that chance. Like, I don't even want to waste your time. I don't even waste your time. I wouldn't even do that to you. I know that whether we have sex or not, this is not going anywhere. So, I just pack up my bags, take my L, and keep it moving. I've had to do that on a couple occasions. I don't just do it just because.
Yep, the good old scoop phase.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta scoop. Sometimes you see the L coming and you just gotta take it.
Because there's always gonna be either another round, another game, another opponent, right? Another female to interact with. So
yeah,
the thing is that there's a lot of opportunities in life. You just gotta be able to see it and take advantage of it when it presents itself. But a lot of people like to act like, oh no, but there's not that many opportunities for me, blah, blah, blah. I know there's more opportunities for you than you are aware of. There's a lot of options out there for you. You just gotta figure out what those options are and go with it. Especially, just like, being like, oh no, but if I don't have sex with this chick right now, I might never get sex ever again. I don't know when the next time I'll get a chance. And it's like, well, that's the thing. You need to get yourself to a level where you do know when it's the next time, right? Because the next time you should be able to have more control of it, right? Things you can't control is understandable. Like you can't control if the sun rises or not. But what you can control is if you're have enough free time to be available for any female to even notice that you exist, to talk to you, to talk to her. One thing leads to another. If you got games, right? You're funny. You got a good sense of humor. You got money, right? You got interesting lifestyle. Like you're interesting enough that you can always get attention from people. You can always get another female to notice you exist. So the whole you don't know if there's gonna ever be another option, another chance. It's like you should know. Because you should be able to make those extra opportunities present themselves. If you do nothing, you shouldn't expect anything. Right? You do nothing, you should get nothing. That's the way it should be. If you do stuff, you should get stuff. That's the way it should be. So, definitely something to keep in mind. Don't want to that's the thing. It's like you don't want to make a decision that you will regret. Plan for the worst, hope for the best, right? So plan for the worst case scenario, divorce. Worst case scenario, pregnancy, right? Worst case scenario, STD. Sometimes some people forget that that's still a thing. Most people are concerned about, children, child support, divorce, and like y'all focus on those worst case scenarios, but forget some other worst case scenarios, right? You bad in bed, that ruins your reputation. She can go around and talk about how bad you are in bed, and boom, now your options of females drastically reduced because of you being bad and bad reputation. That's something the most guys don't consider. STDs, like I was saying, that's another thing to worry about. Adds to the importance of condom, right? Dick discipline, right? Vet the ladies, make sure that quality over quantity. Sometimes guys are just focused on quantity, so the more the better, but don't realize that that could lead to negative things, right? You get what you pay for.
Yeah. Also, you want a great reputation. What's funny is that if you treat yourself like a gem, because we always tell women that if you treat yourself like a gem, everyone else will have to do that. So if you are not known for sleeping with dudes, and even to a point where some people get mad and try to call you a prude, the real men are going to recognize it as, no, she's a gem, because that means not everyone has access to her. Well, the same is on the other side for men. Like, I don't understand why y'all think it's a bad thing that you don't give yourself to every woman. You're not just sitting around, and people know that. People are saying, you're that guy. You may have access to all the women. That doesn't mean you use your access to all the women. The best thing you can do with that is use that to network. That way you can network yourself around to the woman you actually want. And then once you get to her, she can't say, oh, I heard you sleep with all these girls. No, because all those girls are going to say, no, he hasn't. I haven't, because girls are going to keep it real. They're not going to lie unless it boosts their reputation. But if it comes down to word for word, they're going to crumble. They're going to tell the truth. That's the thing. A girl's going to say, yeah, well, I don't actually know anybody he's actually slept with, And then you're going to get a reputation of being a guy that's astute, that may have a lot of access, that may know a lot of people, but you're not for everybody. You're not for the streets. Because no one likes a girl that's for the streets. And no one likes a guy that's for the streets that they want to commit to. Because women like guys that have a lot of experience and everything. They want guys that are wanted by a lot of women, but they don't want a guy that's for the streets all the time. Because they want to say that when you're with them, now you're no longer for the streets because they've captured you. And isn't it funny? Because it shouldn't be the other way around. Shouldn't we capture the woman? But it's like I said before, the dynamics of nowadays have changed. Some women actually believe they have to capture the man. They're like, I have to get a man that every woman wants so that he's no longer available. But that doesn't make any sense. You want a man that all the women want. He knows they all want him, and you think he's just going to settle for you. Instead of trying to get a man that maybe one or two women want, snatch him up, and then be like, okay, I got a man that's just for me. I'm sorry, but it's just like we're living in a different generation of women, we're living in a different generation of men. These men that are very desirable are using those skills. The men that aren't that desirable, they're not out here trying to become desirable to just stay with one woman. They want to be a 9 and a 10. And you can't fault them for that, especially when they didn't start out as anything. They don't have anything. So I don't fault them for that, But what I'm saying is just because you become that desirable doesn't mean you have to act on it. You still should be a better man. And the better man builds his family, and he doesn't go out here embarrassing his wife.
Which, by default, embarrasses him.
Yeah.
Makes him look bad. Because he's the bad guy. Right? So, you gotta, a king serves his people. And in return, his people serve him through their loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
And through their trust in his ability to lead, in his decision making. They trust him with their lives. That's just logic. Because it's funny, a lot of people out there, being like, oh, I'm a king, king and queens and this and that. It's like, all right, cool. I'm not against that idea, but you gotta live up to it. Just like it's annoying to be hearing people talking about, oh, men and women, and most of y'all don't know what a what makes a man and what makes a woman a woman. So much so that you have gender identity issue crisis and issues going on in the world where, you know, no one knows what the definition of a woman is anymore. No one knows what the definition of a man is anymore because now everybody's trying to redefine it. You know, you got trans women trying to claim the title women. You got trans men trying to claim the title of a man, which are titles that originally belong to us, men and women, us biological men and women, or us biological male and females. And being a man, being a woman is something you become. You're not born that way. You don't age into that title, right? You don't age into being a man. You don't age into being a woman. That is something you learn to become. With time, right? With time, you learn to be a man. You learn to be a woman. Yes, with time, you can learn to be anything. Just like you can learn to be a doctor, you can learn to be a lawyer, you can learn to be an astronaut. Yeah, you can learn to become these things. Same thing as learning to become a man, learning to become a woman, right? A good man, a good woman, right? Especially if that's what you want to be. If you want to be a good man, then you got to learn how to be a good man. And one of those things is take discipline, right? Not going around sleeping with just any chick. You know, look for quality. Look for females who have the qualities that you're interested in, the things that you like, personality, looks, you know, obviously, right? If you want to count that, and anything else, social standings, you know, how other people perceive her and whatnot. And the same goes for vetting a guy. That's the thing, we got to do better in picking. The thing is, real men, real women, we don't have these issues. We don't have issues picking. That's what we do. That's what we're best at. We're best at picking, right? We can see if somebody's worth our time or not. You know, sometimes, you know, if we feel like it, we'll pick somebody who isn't really to our standards, right? Because that's the thing about, you know, about being a man or woman is that we have standards. We know what we want, what we don't want, what we need and what we don't need. You know, we plan for the worst, hope for the best. We have all this experience. We know better. That's the whole point, knowing better, being mature, and understanding that we are not going to allow ourselves to be in a position where somebody's just using us for what they want and then discarding us. Unless we're okay with it. That's the difference. If you know that that's all the person has to offer and you're okay with it, then that's not a problem. It's a problem when you didn't know that's what they're going to do and you thought something else. See, we know we don't blindly do things. We definitely don't have high expectations of somebody. We expect what they actually are offering. So if they're presenting that they're going to be good for long term, then that's what we expect. We expect what they, you know, what they are actually offering, and the way the way we find out that they are going to give us what they offering or what we think they're offering is their past, right? Their past, if they have plenty of long-term relationships in their past, there's a high probability that they're going to give you a long-term relationship. But if all their relationships only lasted a day or two, then the high probability of y'all relationship only lasting a day or two is probable. Could you be the exception, right? There's always an exception to a rule. Can you be an exception and be the one that lasts a long time? Yeah, that's possible. But be logical. If they're, it's just like when somebody has to hire somebody for a job, you look at their job history. If they quit within a week of getting hired, and they've done that 12 times in 1 year, what makes you think they're going to be working for you for 2-3 years? You can't expect them to work 2-3 years at your job, at your company, if they barely last a week on their previous jobs. So previous work history matters, just like previous relationship history matters.
Yeah.
This is why body count matters and many other things, because body count tends to correlate to relationships. Like, you know, If you had a high body count within a year, and that's just 1 year, then there's a high probability that you had a lot of short-term relationships. Because, I mean, unless you were in a 1 year relationship and you cheated with all these other people, right, within that 1 year relationship, which that's not good for your resume, more likely you were with one person for like a couple of days, that didn't work out, you went to the next person, and that's why you racked up this body count within that 1 year span. Because there's something, and it has to be something with you. It can't be, it's all the guys or girls. Like, no, you're the common denominator within all these situations. So we gotta look at you first. What is it about you that makes it where these relationships didn't last that long? Then we'll work on figuring out, okay, maybe it wasn't you, maybe it was all of them. Okay, but step one is we gotta look at you to see if you're the problem or if it's them. I guess we'll end it on that.